Okay, looks like we're live. I don't know what happened the other 3 or 4 lives that I did. Feels like the first few seconds of speech just didn't register for some reason. I don't know what's going on. Anyhow, here we are with these 3 remotes, and that's a cool thing. But before I start, I just want to talk about this briefly because it's kind of important. So first of all, if you are interested in becoming a drone pilot today, before you go out and buy yourself a drone and stuff like that, I highly recommend you to take this course. Why? Because it's becoming ever more difficult to be able to fly a drone as a quote unquote recreational pilot these days. And in some cases, the whole system doesn't really make sense. So if you guys want to learn about how difficult it is to become a drone pilot today, and if you ever wanted to make any money, you have to have what is called a Part 107 certification these days if you want to make any money at all with drones. So if you're interested in this whole thing and you want to make money, you can't even make money separately now. Like if you have a YouTube channel and you're making money off the YouTube channel, if you're flying anything, you're under Part 107, which is the worst thing ever anyway. So anyway, if you are interested in any of this stuff, I highly recommend you guys go check out the Pilot Institute. I love this guy. He's my teacher, and he's very good. And he's also, very importantly, diplomatic, which is what we need in the industry right now, because the usual suspects went and angered the FAA, and they ruined drone flight and the hobby for years and years to come. Because if you wanted it to be a cool thing again, you'd have to repeal a whole bunch of laws that have been put in place. But anyway, here we are today, 2022, and it's never been worse. It's never been a worse time to buy a drone and to do stuff because of what's been going on. But anyway, so you guys want to learn more about this, go ahead, go check out the Pilot Institute. It's a great educational tool, and you can learn a lot from this guy because, again, he's diplomatic. He doesn't go out there and anger people and stuff like that, and you know, there's a lot of that going on online and stuff, and it's really caused, and I said it because I was watching a lot of these videos that people were posting out there, and they're like, oh yes, we're in court and we're winning, oh yeah, did you hear the FAA was losing and all that stuff. And I was telling those people, just stop, just shut up, go home, leave it alone, because when you anger the wrong people, the results eventually end up being and going against your will. So anyway, I told those people not to do what they did. They did it anyway. They ruined society, and they ruined drone flying forever. So anyway, thanks a lot. You really did us proud. Did us loud and proud. You won a few battles where you're like, oh yeah, well, you know, those stupid people over there, they're so dumb because look, I was able to do this and that, and now, and then they came up with certifications. All right, anyway, so let me teach you kids a little thing, something very important in life. This is how life works. Let's say Vector here. Vector is my good old friend or good old neighbor, and he lives on the other side of this fence right here, okay? So let's say I take my drone, right? I take my drone and I'm flying in my yard, right? Where I should be, right? Because it's my yard. But then I decide to go over to his yard and I'm starting to fly over him and stuff like that. And back in the day, you could do that. That was not the biggest of issues, so long as you were a diplomatic human being and you asked your neighbor for permission. Said, hey, brah, is it okay that when you're not around, when you're at work or something, is it okay if I fly over your property? Is it okay, you know, if you took the diplomatic approach and you asked them for permission? And that person on the other side of the fence would have said either yes or no. If they said no, just don't do it. If they were very kind, like the people that live here in Irvine, and you asked for their permission and they're okay with it, then it would be fine. But anyway, so what the stupid people did was what they always do is like, okay, well, you know, even if that person over there they're going to start calling poor Vector a Karen. Because I wanted to fly, and I went over on top of his property, and blah, blah, blah. And he said no, whatever, it was annoying him, but I'm going to do it anyway because there's no rule against it. Well, once you start attacking the wrong people, there becomes a rule against it, right? That's the problem. That's the problem. So anyway. So then you go to court with this person here, right? They say, well, there's no law against me flying over your property like this. And then, of course, the guy says, it's my property, and I'm just not comfortable with your drone being on top of there. So then he wins that court case. Now there's a president, not the president of the United States, the president, as in now there's a court case in one area stating that it's not okay for you to do that over there in that county. And now because that county said is not allowed to go over that person's property like this, now the next county is going to say, well, you know, in that county over there, they did that rule, so now we're going to take that rule and bring it into this county. And slowly but surely, these idiots kept doing this kind of thing and angering them because they said, oh, well, you know what? The law says that I can't fly over like this or like this, but if I fly at this angle, there's no rule against that. So look, I'm smart. I outsmarted them in this court case, and I won because if I fly like this under this tree, it's fine. And so then you angered another person, and then that person takes that person to court, and now there's two rules. There's a reason that you can't fly over like this or at this angle. And it just propagates. And the thing kept going and going. And I was telling these people online, brah, just leave it. You're not winning anything. You're just making the problem worse. And they did. They did. Well done, people. Well done. Well done. And all you had to do was just go over to Vector and say, hey, Mr. Vector, you know, if you allow me to fly my drone over your property just for a few hours on whatever day you feel it's okay, I won't go over your property on any other time, any other date, whatever. Can we just be friends? No. Because people are so selfish. It's all about them. Anyway, so welcome to modern society, where now drones is, you know, being in drones is just not fun anymore. I mean, they're taking the fun out of being on drones. So let's get to the fun stuff, because you can still do this inside your house, apparently. But, you know, they're going to anger someone else, and maybe you won't be able to modify your remotes anymore, because that's probably coming to a place near you. So anyway, this was the remote that I was talking about before, and this is for an RC car. And so this was the original that I loved, the high tech. They don't sell these anymore. So I use this one now to do the same thing that this one does. As you can see, it goes up, down, and you have the left. You've got the left and right, just like you have the left and right. And I was able to lock this in place so it doesn't go up and down anymore, which is good for remote control cars, bad for planes and stuff. So that is all set up. I could have actually locked this as well, but this doesn't annoy me as much as this going up and down when I'm driving. So, because this is just mostly this. And then unfortunately, because again, a lot of people were not very good with remote controlling their vehicles. Now most ESCs are programmed, and I don't know how to unprogram the system. But you can't just go forward and then back, because people were stripping gears. So again, progress is not really progress sometimes. Anyway, this is a cool remote, and I wanted to talk about this real quick. The XK has a feature in there that I didn't know about. If you are capable enough of opening one of these things up and setting them up, what you'll notice is that now this goes up and down with a spring, and this one also goes up and down with a spring. There is an internal spring in there that allows you to go in there and make this springy. Before, it was like most other drone or plane remotes, where only on one side did it have the up and down with a spring, and the other side did not. But now, as you can see,
it is springy on both sides. That's something that I did when I went inside. So that's cool. I think that it's a cool feature that more remotes should have had. Unfortunately, this one did not have it, so I had to use what is commonly known as a paper clip to lock this in place, because it did not come with a spring already in there. On this, there's just a little screw. You just screw the screw that's inside here, and the gimbal now has springiness, which is really awesome. So a lot of people who just bash the XK might want to open one of these things up and find out that the cable management in there is really, really well done. You see that I've done another video on that. You guys can go check that out. As well as the springy thing. I think that's cool too. But anyway, there we have it, guys. This is now ready for my RC car. I've driven it in the kitchen the other day, so we know it works. I just need to take it out whenever I have time, whenever I can find a park space where school is not in session or whatever. I will test this out for you guys and see if we can get this to drift properly. But anyway, there we have it, guys. So if anything, if you want to learn one important thing in life, is try to learn to be more diplomatic. And what is the price of winning? What is the price of winning? I need to ask you guys that. And what is the price of sticking it to the other person when in the end you end up losing more, right? Because maybe you win one fight, maybe you win another fight, and it goes on, but in the very end, eventually some of your liberties are going to be taken away from you. So you may have won with the drone things. Now it's like the drone hobby is basically dead. At least for some people. At least for some people who used to be able to make money off of drones and not being certified. But anyway. So the conservatives stuck it to the liberals, because it's mostly the liberals who drone fly and stuff, and libertarians and stuff, because Hollywood, right? Hollywood. Most of the pilots that make the most money in the business either work in real estate or for Hollywood. And so it's obvious that the landowners and stuff like that said, you know what, you did this and that to me and blah, blah, blah. And then they really got their own back. So there you go. There you go. Well done, everyone. All right, well, before we leave, I might as well say thank you to all the cool channels that are still around. And, well, a lot of them, they might not know it yet, but if ever they fly, they are flying under Part 107 now. Bad news, because should they ever make a mistake, if the FAA can come after them now and legally fine them if they did anything that they believe is unacceptable. So, yeah, that's a bit of bad news that I have to deliver to all of my friends, because, unfortunately, I mean, they have nothing to do with any of this stuff that's happened, but their channels and if they fly stuff has definitely been impacted by this new rule system. So if the FAA sees you fly anything and it's the whatever that so-called scapegoat or that so-called thing that you could say in the past where you said, well, you know, I'm just flying as a recreational pilot, it doesn't apply anymore. If you post a video, any video at all, and it is a video of you crashing or whatever it is, you are now liable whether you want to be or not. Because as I said before, when you have conversations with the other party and you're not diplomatic, they find a way to get you. And so, yeah, should have stayed home. Anyway, let's also thank the amazing sponsors of the channel, because it's worth it, and because they're awesome and they've helped with the channel a lot. All the donations and all the cool stuff. Reasons why I can still make content, although the channel is dead. The channel is officially dead. In the past, it was not dead. It is dead. It is dead now. It's been at least 3 weeks now, and we're stuck at 1,500 and something subscribers. I know that's not real data because it just doesn't make sense in any world, in any reality. So anyway, the channel is dead, and well, if there's any consolation, I could fly drones. Well, that's dead too. So maybe we'll be able to still do RC cars and other stuff, and maybe 3D printed stuff, and maybe planes. I don't know. Maybe that also falls under part 107, thanks to the usual suspects. Anyway. Hey, lots of fun stuff to talk about today. So let's say thank you to Excellent, to Shengmei, to D Domisol, and Collar Farm, and most importantly, the Amazon website where you can buy all of these cool things. Go check it out. They have cool stuff for your iWatches and your iPods and all that stuff. Anyway, I wish I could have made a happier video today, but yeah, whatever, man. Yeah, seriously. All right, wishing you all the rest of the week, and be careful, guys, all of you friends with drones out there that are just having fun, doing nothing harmful in any way. Just because you post something on your YouTube channel, now you are liable, and you are basically under the umbrella of the Part 107. You can no longer say that you're a recreational pilot, especially if you're doing reviews of things. All the reviewers out there, all you beautiful people out there that have been inspiring us throughout the years, well, you're all liable now under the Part 107. And we can all thank the freedom fighters, the people who were sticking it to the FAA, saying that they were winning. And I was telling them not to do that. But anyway, you can't stop people from doing what they do, right? People are people. You can't stop them. You can't stop them. They should really stop themselves. But they can't. They just get stuck on stuff, and they just can't let it go. Anyhow, if you guys want to learn about piloting drones, it has now become the elitist kind of, activity. So if you're good at passing tests, memorizing things, and you're an A student, go ahead and get yourself a license. And this is the course that I recommend you guys do, because I love this teacher. He's really good. He explains things really well. Yeah, that's all I can do. See y'all.